Welcome, this is Algebra 1, Semester 1, Unit 3, Section 6.7. Essential question, how do you graph a linear inequality in two variables? You're going to answer that tomorrow at the beginning of class, so if you don't figure it out in the video, you should look it up online. Be ready to answer that question when you come to class. Can you determine if a point is a solution to a linear inequality? Is the ordered pair 0, 0 a solution to this inequality? Well, remember, this is your x, this is your y. So all you have to do is plug those into the inequality. Negative x plus 2y is less than 8. Now you plug in 0, negative 0 plus 2 times 0 is less than 8. 0 plus, well, that'll be 0. So 0 plus 0 is less than 8. Yes, that is a solution. Next problem. Negative 2 and 4. Remember, this is your x value, this is your y. You have a negative x plus 2y is less than 8. Negative, plug in negative 2 plus 2 times y, which is 4, is less than 8. Negative 2, negative times negative 2 is positive 2, plus 2 times 4 is 8. Is that less than 8? 2 plus 8 is 10. It is not less than 8. Put a slash through the inequality to show it's not less, and say, not a solution. Okay. Next page, that is the bottom of page 9. Now we're going to page 10. Can you graph a linear inequality? You graph these the same way you've graphed the linear lines, except there's a couple added items. If you have a less than or greater than symbol, you use a dashed line. If you have a greater than or equal to symbol, or a less than or equal to symbol, you use a solid line. Okay? So this will be a dashed line, and now we graph it the same way as we did the linear equations. So the one is your slope, the one is your y-intercept. So we go to positive 1. The negative 2 is your slope, and we'd write it as negative 2 over 1 for our rise over run. Always rise. So from that 1, we're going to rise 2. But then since it's negative, we go to the left, 1. Now we fill in our bold line. And there we go. Okay. We graph this inequality. I really prefer you guys to go ahead and put this in slope-intercept form. So get the y by itself. So we would subtract 6x from each side. And we get 3y is greater than or equal to negative 6x plus 12. Now divide by 3. We get y is greater than or equal to negative 2x plus 4. Find positive 4 on your y-intercept. Now we have a slope of rise 2, run 1. We run 1 to the left because it's negative. We draw a solid line. And there's our line. Now we want to shade these. When you go to shade, I want you to double check that you've got the line correct. Now we wrote our key here. When it's less than or greater than, it should be dashed. Do we have a dashed line here? Because this is less than. We do not. You should always be graphing in pencil, so just switch that to being a dashed line. Now after we've dashed it, we ask ourselves, well, it is less than. Y is less than. The shaded part is less than. Plug in 0, 0. And if it comes out true, then you know to shade to this side. So we plug in 0 for Y, 0 for X, 0 is less than, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Is that true? 0 is less than 1. The answer is yes, so you shade to this bottom side. And I just asked for 3 or 4 lines showing where the shading is going to come off that. You don't need to boldly shade it. Just some arrows showing me. Next one. Now we double check. This has a solid line underneath, so we should have done a solid line for the graph. We have a solid line, so we're in good shape. Now we have that Y should be greater than. Again, you take 0, 0. If this is true at 0, 0, then we'll shade this way. If not, we'll shade away from the 0, 0. So we have 0 is greater than or equal to negative 2 times 0 plus 4. Negative 2 times 0 makes 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 4? The answer is no, so we shade away from 0, 0. Okay. We have another inequality. This time we're cutting through the x-axis at negative 3. We have no other variables, so we know we cut through that axis. X-axis at negative 3 is right here. Now we go ahead and we draw our line. Let's go over here and do this one, and then we'll do the shading together on them. So Y at 2, we draw our line here. And now we ask ourselves, 0, 0. We plug 0 in for X is 0 greater than negative 3. Yes, it is, so we're going to shade this way. One question, should that be a solid line? Because of that equals underneath, the answer is yes. So we simply draw our arrows off of that. Okay? Next one, Y is less than 2. 0 is less than 2. Is that true? Yes. So we're going to shade coming down towards the 0, 0. Question, should that be a solid line? The answer is no, because it is a less than. It should be dashed. So take your eraser and dash a few spots in it. If you are not using pencil, you're going to get marked off on your graphs anyway. So make sure you get a pencil to graph these so that you can erase that. I do want you to check after you've graphed it that you've made it dashed or solid. Okay. Little extension here. Let me make sure that I have these online for you. No, we're going to be doing this part in class as a warm-up or as a game. It's a team effort. So that was just added for in class. That is the end of the videos. We'll see you tomorrow in class. Get ready for your unit test. Thank you very much.